Part 2 of this lecture is going to be about campaign finance and how PACs and super PACs operate. There has been some legislation and regulation surrounding how campaign funds can be raised in our election process. So here we go. Let's start with how campaign finance started to become regulated back in the 1970s. Something called the Federal Election Campaign Act was created by Congress, and it was finalized by 1974. This created a new agency known as the Federal Election Commission. They are the ones that oversee our federal elections and make sure that campaign financing and donations from individuals as well as corporations and labor unions are legitimate. There is a distinct difference between hard money and soft money donations. Hard money donations refer to individual donations directly to a candidate's official campaign. Those hard money donations are now capped at $100,000 per person per year to an official campaign. Soft money refers to donations made to political action committees or super PACs. There are some distinct limitations, and this next film will show those to you. Please pause this video and switch over and click on the next slide that says PACs versus super PACs. When you click on the next slide, you will see that it says PACs versus super PACs, so please play this video for the class. Once you are done with watching the PACs versus super PACs, check in with your partner and make sure that they understand the difference between the two. You don't have to write any of this down in your guided notes, but I just wanted to give you a quick example of what the 2020 election results were in terms of how much money was spent on both the presidential campaigns as well as the election nationwide. You can see that the Biden campaign raised over $1 billion in hard money donations. There's also that outside money category. This would refer to the super PAC and political action committee donations, whereas the Trump campaign raised $773 million and $313 million in outside money from political action committees. Overall, the 2020 election crushed prior spending records that year, and nearly $14 billion was spent, actually more than that, $14.4 billion spent on the 2020 election. Democrats outspent the GOP in 2020, and that helped them regain control of the Senate, but they did lose the House of Representatives in 2020. More recently, the 2024 results saw the Democrats outspend the Trump campaign yet again, but it had a very different result, didn't it? The Trump campaign was able to win victory and regain control of the White House, and his new election term will start in about a month. You'll find a table on your guided notes that says campaign finance and types of super PACs and PACs. So please take a moment and fill that out. You will see that there is columns for type, how they're formed, what are the requirements, donation limits, and examples of what those types of PACs are. So pause here and let the class fill out that section. Once you are finished filling out the prior slides table, let's move on to the check on campaign finance. This congressional act called the BCRA, or Bipartisan Campaign Reform Act, is also known as the McCain-Feingold Bill. This passed in 2002 and at the time was successful in banning all soft money donations. It did allow for an increase on the limitations for hard money donations. That's why it's currently set at $100,000 per person. But it did at the time prohibit corporations and unions from running issue ads independent from campaigns. But things have changed since 2013. So let's continue and you'll find out what happened. So there was an earlier attempt at limiting campaign finance and how those rules operate, but that is no longer the case, as you'll see in the next section. This is the case that changed it all. Here you will watch a quick film on Citizens United versus the FEC. Once you are done with that, check in with your partner to make sure that you understand the impact of its process moving forward. It'll talk to you about the background, constitutional question, facts of the case, and the ultimate decision and its impact. So take a moment and watch that film. Pause this film. Please check in with your partner and make sure that they understand the background, etc., and especially the impact of the case and how things changed. That's right. The impact of the Citizens United case is huge. You can see that there are really no spending limits with respect to how super PACs can operate. You will get a clear idea of how this process works when you hear from Stephen Colbert in this upcoming short clip. So please pause this film and your sub will click on this item right here that says Stephen Colbert creates a super PAC. Once you're done with that, return back to here and I'll talk to you about super PAC activity. So you can see that the impact of the Citizens United decision is pretty huge, considering that PACs don't have much oversight any longer, even though the FEC exists and there are certain limitations. It's very difficult for them to track down any perpetrators, and they usually do not hold people accountable. So it's a bit of a free-for-all at this point, and that's where this next information comes into play. Let's take a look here at where it says Super PAC activity. If you're following along on your side, you can click on that link here. It says 2024 outside spending. So let's have a peek. Here you can see that the outside spending by Super PAC results is pretty amazing in terms of this election cycle. There was 2,400 different types of Super PACs registered by the FEC. And the total amount of money raised by Super PACs in the last election cycle was over $4.2 billion. And of that money, $2.7 billion was spent by Super PACs to create the advertising and media we watched during the election cycle for the 2024 election. Pretty amazing numbers. So in reference to that last item that says dark money, this is the concept of how foreign donations might be playing a key role in our election results. And that's a bit alarming because they're not supposed to have any kind of impact. And it would appear that that's not the case if the existence of dark money foreign operators have been influencing our election results. So hopefully you learned quite a bit here. Check in with your partner, especially on the difference between Super PACs and PACs. And then you're good for the day. Hopefully you enjoyed the presentation. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.